celebrities didn't want to pose with the Duchess. Surely that can't be right, Kinsey.
Well, keep in mind, Rita, Reese Witherspoon was there. Gwyneth Paltrow was there. I mean, there were some, Diane Sawyer was there. There were some very big names there, names that Meghan liked.
Kinsey, tell me about these reports that major Hollywood power brokers are no longer answering Meghan Markle's phone calls personally. It seems after a number of failed projects, they're fobbing her off to their underlings.
Officially Markled. Despite her desperate attempts to achieve A-level stardom, trying to be friendly with celebrities, inviting people she didn't really know to her wedding in hopes of networking and becoming friendly with some of the movers and shakers in Hollywood, are people starting to really keep their distance from the toxic brand of Harry.
The Duchess of Drama strikes again, and this time, Hollywood's brightest stars don't just roll their eyes. They've started pretending she doesn't even exist. Yes, Meghan Markle, once the glitzy actress who stepped into royalty and became the woman of every headline, is now the woman everyone in Hollywood avoids like a bad scandal. And trust me, this isn't just petty whispers at cocktail parties, it's an industry-wide freeze-out.
With Meghan reached out allegedly to Reese Witherspoon and tried to have her on the Archetypes podcast. Season 1 was denied. We continuously hear the name Gwyneth Paltrow and Meghan together because of the launch of American Riviera.
It started as casual gossip, a little chatter at Beverly Hills luncheons, whispers in the corners of private mixers. Meghan's name was mentioned, but not with the sparkle of admiration. Instead, it was with that knowing smirk, that side eye that says, "Oh, you don't want to touch that mess." Agents, producers, PR moguls, the kind of people who decide which star shines and which star fades, began spreading the word. Meghan Markle was no longer an exciting new power player. She was a problem.
Tom Sykes in the Times out of the UK. Rita, this is a conversation you and I've had for years. I guess we could just say thank you for confirming what we've been telling you forever. And that's really that Harry and Meghan, the return on investment.
Now let me tell you how serious this is. In Hollywood, agents aren't just paper pushers. They're lifelines. They guard careers, protect reputations, and control opportunities. And when those very agents start quietly warning their clients with one consistent message, stay away from Meghan Markle, you know the alarm bells are deafening.
A story that they had dinner together, although we never saw photographs of that dinner either. But a source told News Nation that celebrities know.
And this isn't some wild tabloid fantasy. Insiders have confirmed it again and again. Meghan's name is now flagged in conversations across the top agencies in Beverly Hills. The reason is brutally simple. Hollywood runs on optics. It's about how you look, who you're seen with, and what story your image tells. Being spotted with Meghan doesn't say glamour anymore. It screams baggage, controversy, lawsuits, and never-ending drama. Who in their right mind would want that storm cloud hanging over them?
I was talking to someone recently whose father was an executive at Paramount, and she was like, my father cannot believe the amount of money that's been invested in these two people that haven't accomplished.
Agents have reportedly laid down strict rules. No meetings with Meghan, no entertaining pitches involving her, and most damning of all, absolutely no joint photo ops. In Hollywood, being seen next to the right person can light up a career overnight, but being seen next to Meghan Markle? That's a headline nobody wants.
It's a transit approval of her to promote herself, that she can use to promote herself, and that Meghan can continue to show up.
One agent even dropped the ultimate burn. Meghan treats Hollywood like a stepping stone, not a partnership. Translation: she's untrustworthy. The stories are piling up. Ghosting friends, dropping contacts the moment she became royal, using connections for publicity. People in this town have learned the hard way. Meghan doesn't build bridges, she burns them. And in Hollywood, when agents smell risk, the only safe option is to cut you out completely.
Creative, that they're hard workers. Additionally, when I talked to a publicist a few weeks ago, I asked if they would like to contribute. They were pitching me a celebrity.
And let's get real. Hollywood doesn't blacklist you just because you're unpopular. It blacklists you when you're unmanageable. Meghan's been branded as high maintenance, controlling, and too quick to drag private drama into the public spotlight. Nobody wants to be the next chapter in her endless saga.
Or move into their neighborhood, but they simply do not consider her their friend.
With these warnings echoing across Hollywood, Meghan's fate is sealed. Without access to powerful names, she loses alliances. Without alliances, she loses leverage. And without leverage, in Hollywood terms, that's death. You fade into irrelevance.
be involved. And that publicist said, we don't want to touch anything Harry and Meghan related. It's too negative. It's too dirty. I mean, this is a common theme happening here today. You are who you associate with, and Harry and Meghan.
See, in this industry, photo ops aren't just about flashing cameras. They're power plays. The right shot can mean headlines, fan buzz, and instant credibility. For Meghan, though, those cameras have stopped flashing. The lights have dimmed. The red carpet moments she once thrived on, gone.
Crew with her filming the next reality series / documentary. So I think that's another reason just to kind of
Behind the scenes, PR managers are crystal clear. No red carpet poses, no stage-friendly snaps, no joint press shots. Meghan Markle is officially persona non grata.
Mean for their future, because I really do think they were banking on these inroads that they made at their wedding and then at other events, really making things easier for them, especially once they transitioned to Hollywood. I think Hollywood was
And this is brutal for someone like Meghan, who once lived for the optics of standing beside A-listers. Remember the Oprah moment? Beyonce? Those images used to elevate her. Now, being pictured with Meghan doesn't lift careers. It taints them.
Things are going rather poorly for them. And when you look at Meghan Markle's wedding,
it's gotten so bad that even casual group shots are strategically avoiding her. At premieres, she's not invited. At charity galas, she's placed far away from the VIP tables. At mixers, people whisper about her but never welcome her. Why? Because image is everything. Meghan's has turned toxic. Instead of glamour, her name now carries lawsuits, family feuds, and failed projects. In this world, no one wants their trending moment to be because they stood too close to the Duchess of drama. This isn't just social snubbing, it's tactical exile. Publicists, the real puppet masters of Hollywood, have placed Meghan on their do not pair list. Even if she lands an invite, she won't be seen shoulder to shoulder with the elites. She's been erased from the photo op strategy, and for Meghan, who built her entire post-royal image on visibility, this is devastating. Without her face splashed across tabloids and Instagram feeds, her relevance evaporates. This silent freeze-out isn't subtle, it's a loud, clear message. You are not welcome here. In Hollywood, where being seen is survival, cutting Meghan out of photo ops is like cutting off her oxygen supply. It's almost hard to believe how far Meghan Markle has fallen. Back in 2018, her royal wedding wasn't just a ceremony, it was a global spectacle. Hollywood stars, world leaders, fashion icons, everyone wanted a front row seat as the American actress married into history. Meghan was hailed as the modern breath of fresh air for the monarchy. She was splashed across every magazine cover, adored as the woman who brought glamour and relatability into the royal family. For a brief, dazzling moment, she was untouchable. Fast forward to now, and that sparkle has collapsed into humiliation. Once a symbol of elegance, Meghan is now branded as controversy incarnate. Hollywood, which once opened every door for her, now pretends those doors never existed. The very insiders who once toasted her meteoric rise are now gossiping over her spectacular downfall. And the contrast? It's shocking. She mingled with Clooney's, rubbed shoulders with Oprah, posed with A-list power players. Now, she's quietly excluded, reduced to being the subject of hushed whispers and brutal industry lessons. Her big chance to transform royal prestige into Hollywood power fizzled. Netflix faded, Spotify dropped. Victimhood narratives that once earned sympathy became exhausting. Instead of dazzling with projects, she drowned the room with personal drama. And in Hollywood, that's fatal. One moment she was waving from a royal carriage, the next she's desperately trying to land appearances outside of staged events and charity panels. The glitz has worn off, leaving behind desperation. What makes it even sadder? Meghan's connections weren't shallow at first. She had the chance to turn them into gold. But insiders say her friendships weren't built on loyalty, just transactions. Who could benefit whom? Who could boost her next step? And when people caught on, they walked. Hollywood now sees her fall as a cautionary tale. A woman who had everything: fame, royalty, sympathy, yet squandered it by weaponizing relationships instead of nurturing them. The royal wedding should have cemented Meghan as a global icon. Instead, it became her peak, the highest point she never matched again. From that day on, it's been a downhill slide, from glamour into humiliation. And in Hollywood, once your shine fades, it rarely returns. At first, Meghan's Oprah interview made people lean in. She was vulnerable, teary, painting herself as isolated and mistreated. Many believed her, but then it became a pattern. More interviews, more complaints, more monetized pain. And when you keep selling the same grievances over and over, sympathy turns into suspicion. Hollywood insiders started asking, if Meghan would air out the secrets of the British monarchy, 1,000 1,000-year-old institution with ironclad privacy, what's stopping her from exposing her friends, colleagues, or co-stars? Suddenly, she wasn't a truth teller. She was a liability. That's when the room turned cold. The same agents and publicists who once saw her as fresh and bold now saw her as a threat. Invitations dried up. Projects stalled. She wasn't exciting anymore. She was dangerous. And the final nail? Her fallout with Jessica Mulroney, her closest ally, her stylist, her ride or die during her Hollywood to royal transition. One controversy, and Meghan dropped her like a stone. To the industry, that was a red, flashing sign. If she could ice out Jessica, no one was safe. From co-stars on Suits to distant acquaintances, her track record screamed one thing. Meghan's loyalty only lasted as long as it served her, and that is Hollywood's ultimate red flag. Once you're branded untrustworthy here, the blacklist doesn't just grow, it becomes permanent. Now, Meghan isn't cited as an inspiring example of how to blend Hollywood and royalty. She's the whispered warning in Beverly Hills boardrooms. Don't end up like her. So let's talk about the breaking point. On paper, Meghan Markle's Hollywood comeback should have been unstoppable. She had royal fame, instant global recognition, and the kind of platform every actress dreams of. Philanthropy, luxury branding, Hollywood projects. The possibilities were endless. But instead of planting roots, she scorched the earth. Her Netflix and Spotify deals, once hyped as groundbreaking, turned into glaring embarrassments, and every bridge she burned, every ally she dropped, it came back like a boomerang. When Netflix announced its mega deal with Meghan and Harry, $87 million on the table, people thought it was a golden era. This was going to be prestige content, a royal couple turned Hollywood producers. The hype was insane, but what did Netflix get? One of the most disappointing partnerships in streaming history. Meghan's big project with Love, Meghan was sold as aspirational lifestyle content, something between Martha Stewart and Oprah, but instead it flopped. Critics called it unimaginative, viewers ignored it, and social media didn't care. The show that was supposed to crown her as a Hollywood tastemaker couldn't even trend for more than a day. Netflix executives furious. Meghan reportedly deflected blame, muttering about sabotage campaigns, outside conspiracies, coordinated PR attacks. But inside Netflix, they saw the truth. Overhyped, underdelivered, and full of demands. She wanted A-list treatment, global campaigns, red carpets, while delivering content that wouldn't even pass for mid-tier programming. The result? Meghan went from asset to liability. That $87 million deal, it's not her crown jewel, it's her scarlet letter. The deal that Hollywood now whispers about in meetings, don't blow your money the way Netflix blew theirs on Meghan Markle. And just when you think it couldn't get more humiliating, enter Taylor Swift. Yes, Meghan actually convinced herself that Taylor Swift timed her engagement announcement to Travis Kelce just to sabotage with Love, Meghan. I know, it sounds delusional, but insiders say Meghan was genuinely furious. Convinced the world's biggest pop star orchestrated her personal life to overshadow her Netflix premiere. Hollywood rolled their eyes. Taylor Swift doesn't revolve her life around Meghan Markle, but Meghan's paranoia painted her as detached from reality. And in this town, if you can't separate actual competition from imagined sabotage, you're not just difficult, you're dangerous. It only confirmed what Hollywood already thought. Meghan isn't reliable, she isn't stable, and she's not someone you want to be in business with. But wait, it gets worse. Desperate to save her brand, Meghan reached out to Dolly Parton. Yes, Dolly, the universally adored queen of country, the woman no one dislikes. Meghan pitched her to appear on her show, hoping Dolly's untouchable reputation would rub off on her. And Dolly? She politely declined. Sources say Meghan was crushed. To her, Dolly wasn't just a guest, she was a golden ticket, the stamp of legitimacy Meghan so badly needed. But Dolly's polite no spoke volumes. If even Dolly Parton won't touch your project, what does that say about you? Insiders say Meghan even spun another conspiracy, whispering that Kate Middleton somehow influenced Dolly's decision. Completely absurd. Dolly doesn't play in palace drama. She just knew associating with Meghan would tarnish her carefully crafted decades-strong reputation. And that rejection became symbolic. Hollywood read it loud and clear. If Dolly Parton won't touch Meghan, neither should you. And here's where it turns darker. Insiders whisper Meghan doesn't just chase relevance. She manipulates Harry's deepest wounds. Constantly comparing her struggles to Princess Diana's, she paints every criticism, every failed project, as another attack in the same vein. It keeps Harry loyal, isolated, and wrapped in her narrative. For Meghan, it's strategy. For Harry, it's tragic. Hollywood sees it as emotional leverage. If she'll weaponize Diana's memory for sympathy, what won't she use? Meanwhile, the stars she once courted, Beckhams, Clooney's, even Taylor Swift, are cozying up with William and Kate. Why? Because they represent stability, credibility, and longevity. Nobody wants Meghan's drama. Everyone wants William and Kate's prestige, and that's the brutal truth. Meghan Markle, who once dreamed of being the glittering bridge between Hollywood glamour and royal prestige, has ended up blacklisted. She's no longer a symbol of power, but a whispered warning. Hollywood doesn't forgive, the royals don't forget, and the public? They've stopped empathizing. Meghan Markle is no longer the star of the show. She's the cautionary tale of how to lose it all.